In a Vermont cold case, but police say more than 30 years after a mother and daughter were murdered, they are still struggling with the lack of evidence. Jack Thurston joins us now with more. Jack.
Kristen, detectives admit this is bittersweet and only partial closure for the family of Grace Reapp. She and her daughter Gracie vanished, and police believe the woman's husband killed them. 32 years later, their bodies have never been found, and now the secret of their location may have died along with the prime suspect.
We remain committed to finding the remains of Grace and Gracie Reapp.
32 years and several searches later, police still do not know where Grace and Gracie Reapp are. They're presumed murdered by Michael Reapp, who detectives say was cheating on his wife Grace in the late 1970s.
Cadaver dogs, ground-penetrating radar, everything we can think of we have used.
Police now believe they know what happened to their suspect. Michael Reapp had been living in Florida with a new family when he learned of a search of his former property back in Jericho. He fled, and police say they're nearly certain he's been dead since 1997.
At this point, we do believe it is Michael Reapp.
A fingerprint matched a man involved in a carjacking and police chase in Arizona. He committed suicide before cops there knew who he was, but scientists recently ID'd him as Reapp. Now Vermont detectives hope anyone who may have been in fear of coming forward will have no reason to remain silent.
This information is fairly new. A few people have been interviewed, but there are still more interviews to do with people who associated with Michael Reapp back in 1978.
The story of Grace and Gracie Reapp is not an isolated one. There are more than 25 other Vermont homicides that are still unsolved.
State police list some of their photos and stories on their website, and detectives are always optimistic they'll be able to remove a name from the list and offer relatives some closure.
We remain dedicated to re-examining these cases on an annual basis and pursuing whatever leads we can generate.
Investigators hope even with Michael Reapp dead, they can still breathe new life into this cold case.
Police are looking at DNA testing as a way to confirm the John Doe in Arizona is actually Michael Reapp. They still hope someone knows something about where Grace and Gracie Reapp may be, whether it's in Jericho or someplace else in Vermont, or even out of state. Investigators ask anyone with information to call the St. Albans State Police Barracks. Kristen.